your niche isn't working, like if you feel like you've picked a direction but nothing is gaining traction, I want to offer you something before we get into tactics. And it might not be that you picked the wrong niche. It may be that you didn't really pick one at all. Because here's the mistake that I see happening constantly in the online world. Someone decides they want to make money online. So they go learn from someone, and that someone teaches them a system. And part of the system involves promoting the system itself to others. So now they're not really in a niche, they're in a recruit to recruit cycle, promoting the thing that taught them to promote things. And that's not a lane, that's just a loop. So today I want to talk about what actually choosing a lane looks like and why getting this right is the most important decision you'll ever make. So let me describe the recruit to recruit trap more specifically, because I think a lot of women have fallen into it without even realizing it. So you find someone online who seems to have figured out how to build a business. They're making money, they have an audience, they seem to know what they're doing. So you buy their course or join their program, and you learn their system. And part of that system, almost always, involves promoting the system to others as an affiliate or that option. So now your business is essentially about helping other people do what you're doing, which is helping other people do what you're doing. Okay, you get the point. Nobody in that chain, though, ever stopped to ask, but what do I actually know? What problem can I actually solve? What do I genuinely care enough about to show up consistently over the long haul? The niche becomes the system itself. And systems like that don't build authority necessarily, they just build dependency on whoever is at the top of the chain. So I've watched this happen over and over, and I've fallen into this situation myself. It's seductive because it feels like a shortcut. Someone else already figured out the business model and you just have to plug in. But what you're actually plugging into is someone else's lane, not yours. And building in someone else's lane means the moment that you step away from their system, you have nothing concrete of your own to stand on. And here's the part that makes it even harder. Most of the women who buy into these systems don't yet have an audience to promote to. So they're learning a strategy that requires reach they haven't built yet. And it's completely cart before the horse. You need to have a community to promote to before the affiliate model makes any sense. And building that community is the work nobody told you had to come first. So you end up cold messaging strangers, sliding into DMs, trying to manufacture an audience from scratch just to run a system that was supposed to make things easier, and then wondering why it feels so hard. So what does actually choosing a lane look like? Because I think the advice most people get, find your niche, pick something profitable, go where the money is missing the most important part entirely, which is a lane that works long term. And it's built on 4 things. You actually know it, not because you took a course on it, but because you've lived it. Your experience, your failures, your specific way of understanding the problem is what makes your perspective worth listening to. You can solve a real problem with it, not a manufactured problem, but something that real people are actually dealing with and actively looking for help with. And you're genuinely invested in it. This is the one people skip over because it feels too soft, but it matters enormously because building anything online takes longer than anyone tells you up front. The algorithm doesn't care about your timeline. Authority builds slowly in most cases, and if you're not genuinely interested in what you're talking about, you'll run out of steam long before you build any traction. And you can talk about it for years, not weeks, not months, but years. So can you see yourself still showing up around this topic in 3 years, in 5? If the honest answer is, I'm not sure, that's worth paying attention to before you invest more time in it. I'm passionate about helping women understand the real world of building online, not the highlight reel version, not the hustle version, the actual version. How long it really takes, what it actually requires, and how to build something authentic to who you are instead of who someone else told you to be. So I could talk about that for a long time, and that's how I know it's my lane. So here's something I want to say that doesn't get said enough. One of the biggest reasons niches fail isn't the wrong topic. It's unrealistic expectations about how long it can take to build the momentum. So I jumped from one thing to the next for years. Not always because the lane was wrong, sometimes because I expected results faster than they were ever going to come. So I'd show up for a few months, not see traction that I hoped for, and assume something was broken. So I'd pivot, try something different. But here's the reality of building authority online. It's not a 3-month project, and not even a 1-year project for most people. It's a long game. And the women who win at it aren't necessarily the most talented or the most visible. They're the ones who picked something real and kept showing up long after it stopped feeling exciting and new. That's why the lane has to be something you genuinely care about. Not something that seems profitable or is trending, but something you'd keep talking about even if nobody was watching yet. Because for a while, nobody will be. And that's completely normal. It doesn't mean it's not working. It means you are still in the building process. So here's what I want to get across to you today. If your niche isn't working, before you pivot, ask yourself whether you actually chose it or whether you just fell into it because someone else's system pointed you there. Ask yourself if you actually know this topic from the inside, if you can solve a real problem with it, if you're genuinely invested enough to still be talking about it in 3 years. And ask yourself if your expectations about the timing are realistic, because a lane that isn't getting traction after 3 months probably isn't broken. It's just still being built. If you want help getting clear on what your lane actually is and making sure that your message, assets, visibility are all pointing in the same direction, the Authority Audit will show you exactly where your gaps are. It's free, takes less than 10 minutes, and the link is in the description. And if you found this video valuable, please like and subscribe. I put out 2 new videos each week with the truth on building a real long-term business online. And I will see you next time.